Archie Slaymaker International Box News. I'm joined by Tunde Ajayi. Shadow boxing as we go after Joel Kodua cruised to victory. How did you see that victory playing out?
Did you see Dev Sahni shadow box?
What did you make of that? What was your thoughts on Dev Sahni shadow boxing?
I told him, he went private school because that's the only they only do that in private schools. Shadow boxing like that, but Dev's my mate, so I let him off. It's all good.
You fancy training Dev at all?
Maybe for the right price. I'm available.
Joel Kodua cruising to victory tonight. How did you see that going? What's been worked with in training? What did you see in the ring tonight?
Oh man, improvement. You know, I say it, and I've been saying it for many years. In boxing, the biggest room is a room for improvement. Joe never had an amateur career. You know, he's boxing kids that prospects, top amateurs that have turned pro, are boxing, and in his first year he's doing 6-round contests when it's supposed to be 4. And so I just feel that every fight he's maturing, getting better. He's not afraid to stay in the red zone, the danger zone, and slip, shoulder, throw uppercuts. It's just, the arsenal's there. It's there. It's just a matter of time, you know. Professional. Knocking somebody out is not as easy as it looks. When you see a knockout puncher, there's an art to it, and it's something you've got to learn to do. So as I said to him, don't worry about the knockouts. Get this experience, the knockouts will come.
How do you think being on these big shows, obviously you see TNT, Queensbury in the background,
it's big, isn't it?
How do you think these big shows will help Joel come on?
Oh yeah, I mean it's fantastic for him. And I as I said to Andy Aylen, I don't mind his first one. Like I just want him to be on these bills, you know, and experience this kind of atmosphere. His time will come. You know, his time will come when he's top of the bill and everything. But just actually being there, you think about how many professional licensed boxers there are in this country, and there's only a few TV promoters. So for a young man who had no amateur career, I keep saying no, like 10 fights is no amateur career, you get what I'm saying? To be in this position of fighting, and I just think it's wonderful for him.
What's next for Joe? Obviously, you want to keep him active. I know I heard you saying on Boxing King Media's interview that he's got 2 more fight dates coming up. Is that the plan now? Just to keep Joel active until the year's out?
Yeah. Well, you know, again, everything for me. That's why I never look past the next fight. You know, what I don't want is I don't want him to just be fighting and not learning, because I always believe that the learning is in the gym. Like you prepare for the exam, you revise for the exam, and then you take the exam. So you don't take the exam then revise. I've always seen boxing like that. And if he's just fighting, he's actually not learning. He's like learning in the fight. Yeah, you get an experience, but then you know, how do I parry a jab? How do I block a jab? All that's done in the gym. So I'm gonna look at it. We're gonna look at the tapes and see where he goes. But as I said, he is scheduled for 2 more fights.
Another charge who's in the gym, Anthony Yarde.
Yeah.
Dying to obviously talk about Anthony Yarde. Ricky Summers is the opponent on September 23. There was a lot of criticism around that fight being made. Anthony jumping down from world level to Ricky Summers. Do you understand that criticism at all?
Not at all. People criticising ain't boxers. The people criticising ain't trainers. You know, criticism is part of it. Life is polarity, up, down, left, right, good, bad, evil, good, evil. It's just life. So I never listen to things like that. What you have to understand is that when people say it's a drop down, who is he just fought? you get it? Like, he just fought, you know, another monster, another lion, you know, with a perfect KO record. And that, although the fight was in January, in my opinion, is the fight of the year. It's definitely one of the best fights over this shores for a very long time. And so you don't just go, like, what is it? Just throw Anthony Yarde in every fight? No, it don't. It just, not in our books and not in my books as a trainer. I don't think that's wise. You know, why would you? Everybody, if you fight a world title, I mean, Anthony Joshua has just fought Franklin, and he's just fought Hellenius, who got knocked out the fight before in 1 round. Like, what is this? You see what I'm saying? So you use the fights to gauge where your fighter is at that time after that fight. And I feel Ricky Summers is solid. You know, he's never been stopped. As far as I know, I've never even seen him on the floor. A split decision with a British, Commonwealth, European champion. He lost on a split, so it ain't like he's fighting Nobby Knobs down the road. It's a good fight. It's a good little. Why they lost? It's gonna be a good fight.
It's a good fight, and for Anthony's progression coming off.
Yes.
Obviously, it was devastating. I remember saying devastating knockout to Anthony, and he said it wasn't devastating. Why was it devastating? He was hungry to get back in the ring.
Yes.
Come through Ricky Summers on September 23.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, that's always the question that everyone always asks me, and I'll answer it the way I've always answered it. It's one fight at a time. You can't look past the next opponent in boxing. That's when things go wrong. You know, you have to take. We've got to take Ricky Summers. For Ricky Summers, this is like his world title fight. He ain't gonna be coming here. He ain't gonna be coming to lie down. He's got family. You see him in these little interviews. I'm doing this for my kids and everything. When I see things like that, I'm like, cool. I've got I'm studying. I'm doing what I have to do as a trainer. You know. And Anthony will do what he has to do as a fighter. So respect to Ricky Summers for taking the fight. That's the first thing. And let's see what happens on the 23rd.
It's the last question I'm going to ask, and it's been echoed this whole week in sport. Drugs in sport.
Oh my goodness.
Dillian Whyte testing positive. Alycia Baumgardner testing positive. You obviously have the Conor Ben saga keep going on. As a trainer,
yes,
and as someone who is really close to their fighters, what does it mean to you to obviously see this coming out? And obviously, I know you did mention the Victor Conte Netflix documentary. But what does it mean as a manager seeing all this come out?
It's very saddening for me. The sport is hard enough without people cheating, without people trying to take the lives of people's children. And that's why the punishment, you know, someone said to me, if you ban someone for life, it won't stop the drug continuation in sport. And I'm like, yeah, but it will deter people. Because if someone knows that they're going to have a life ban for drugs, he's going to think about it. But if you don't do nothing, if you don't start handing out these hefty life bans for drug cheats, then yeah, one thing we do know, it will continue. You know, and I just feel anybody, I can't endorse and I can't be in support of anyone that takes drugs in professional boxing, because the whole point of professional boxing is to render your opponent unconscious. That's what professional boxing is. It's not a joke. I'm here to knock you out. So I must train for 8 weeks to 12 weeks. And then you need to watch that. The guy was benching 150 and in 6 weeks his bench press went up to about 325. I'm like, wow.
Shows the levels.
The drugs is
what it can impact.
What it can do. Yeah. You know, even if the guy is not a good boxer, it makes them into super athletes, which is unfair. It's not a level playing ground. So we need to get a hold of this situation very, very quickly. No more little slaps on the wrist. No more 1 year, 2 year ban. And in that 2 year ban, they're still juicing because they know they're not gonna get tested. And then they do all these tricks and. You know, how to... When I watch it again, I urge anyone to go and watch that documentary. But it is such a shame. I do hope, and I continue to say this, I do hope Dillian does clear his name. Alycia Baumgardner, I was very upset because, you know, we all like to look at Alycia flexing her muscles and you think, wow, this girl, and she can box as well. And I'm like, come on, not again. But what's it? Just drugs everywhere. Like, bro, it's come on, man. It's just. So I'm going a bit off key now, but no place in boxing for drugs. There's no place in boxing for performance enhancing drugs. Simple as that.
I said last question. I do just want to quickly.
It always happens. Don't worry.
I do just want to get your prediction on next week's showdown. Oleksandr Usyk defending his world heavyweight title against Daniel Dubois. Just briefly touch on that fight. And is it the hardest test of Oleksandr Usyk's career?
I believe so. He's got a young, hungry winner. You know, someone who wants to shock the world. You know, someone who has belief in himself, a family that's backed him from the start. And Daniel's a South London. I know his dad used to buy posters from his dad, cultural posters from his dad down New Cross. And he used to come to the food shop in Dulwich. I know the family well. Daniel might do it. One thing we know about Daniel Dubois, he can punch. And The task is to deal with the mental fortitude of Alexander Usyk. That's going to be the biggest battle for Daniel, because if it goes past round 6, Usyk starts. He's like what's one of these? Bro, he's like a magician. He'll just wave that forearm, and he's taking your mind. So I just hope Daniel can land that big punch within the first 6 rounds, because past 6 rounds, you know, I'll start getting worried. But Daniel could do it. Triple D all the way.
Perfect. Thank you for Tunde Ajayi, talking to International Boxing News.